Good morning, children. I hope you all are keeping well. So, children, in continuation with chapter 12, electricity, today we will learn about Ohm's law and his experiment. Gregor John Ohms was a great scientist. In 1827, he has done an experiment with a nichrome wire and connected it through the XY terminals, as you can see in the circuit. This is as per your NCERT. So you can see in this figure 12.2 that a nichrome wire, which is an alloy of nickel, manganese, iron. This nichrome wire was used as the conducting material at the two open-ended terminals, that is X and Y. He placed voltmeter in parallel to this resistor, that is XY, ammeter in series, a key, and the four cells were attached to it. At his time, he was not having any battery, that is the combination of battery as we see in our physics lab. But what he did, he connected these cells, that is one by one. As you can see, the lines are dotted lines here, which indicates that he has connected one cell at a time. Then he noted the value of potential difference V across the wire XY and the ammeter reading of current. He noted down in his table, as you have seen. We will just discuss about that table. Then he connected two cells. He noted down the reading of voltmeter and ammeter, three cells and then four cells in continuation one by one. He noted these readings in the form of a table, as you can see here, that is the number of cells 1, the current reading I, and potential difference reading V, 2 cells, then again I and V, 3 cells, then again I and V readings, and 4 cells when he connected the reading of current I and potential difference V. He observed a particular trend from this table. We need to remember that in physics, mass is always interlinked. So he was noting down a trend that as he was increasing the source cell, that is he was increasing these number of cells one by one, the reading of current was also increasing as he was increasing the potential difference across this wire. Vice versa, he also tried. He reduced the number of cells one by one, 4, 3, 2 and then 1. He noticed that the value of current is also decreasing. So from this, he was concluding that potential difference is directly proportional to the current. But to verify this result, he did two steps. Two-step verification he has done. He has done the division of potential difference reading, that is V, and the current I, and then he divided all these four values of V and I. He found that there was a constant value. The other thing he has done, he has drawn a graph between potential difference V and current I, and he has noticed that he get a straight line graph. So from these two things, he has concluded that potential difference is directly proportional to the current I flowing through it. So this is known as Ohm's law, as you can see in the NCERT also, that the potential difference V across the ends of a given metallic wire in an electric circuit is directly proportional to the current flowing through it. Of course, the temperature should remain the constant in that duration of time. So, he derived this formula that V is proportional to I. Dividing V by I, we will get a constant value, because whenever we remove the proportionality sign, we get a constant value. By his observations, he named this constant as resistance, denoted by capital R, such that the formula of Ohm's law has become V is equals to IR. What is R? R is the constant of a given metallic wire at a given temperature and is called its resistance, and it is the property of a conductor to resist the flow of charges through it. So from this we concluded that every material, whether it is a good conductor, it is also offering some resistance. This is understood nowadays that there is nothing is pure conductor, or we should say that superconductor. Superconductor does not exist naturally. We make it artificially at different conditions, but superconductor naturally does not exist. So whatever conductors we have, they have certain resistance. They are resisting the flow of charge through it. That's a different issue, that they are offering very small resistance, that is in minus power only. In next topic we will discuss in detail. So from Ohm's law he derived that R is also inversely proportional to current, because R is equals to V upon I. That means if we will double the value of current, the resistance value will be half, or vice versa. If the resistance is double, the current flowing through the conductor will be less. Now, what is the symbolic representation of this? What is the SI unit? Let us discuss. As we said, R is equals to V upon I. So, this is represented to respect this Gregor-John Ohms. We have selected this resistance unit also by his name, that is ohms, and it is represented by R is equals to V upon I. Therefore the SI unit can also be known as 1 ohm is equals to 1 volt upon 1 ampere, and the definition will be that if the potential difference across the two ends of a conductor is 1 volt and the current through it is 1 ampere, then the resistance R of the conductor is 1 ohm. So we derive that I is equal to V upon R. I hope this concept is very clear to you. So take care. We will discuss in next class about the next concept. Thank you.